So I was going through my rather large collection today, and I was thinking that it might be a cool video to do three, I guess, S tier ranked fragrances out of my collection. And that's basically just like the highest possible ranking I could give a fragrance. These are ones that have stood out to me in my collection over time. I am kind of always looking for the next new, big, interesting fragrance online. And what I found is that, like, the more I accumulate these bottles, I guess the less I get to appreciate each individual scent. It's like when you have a smaller collection and you have a signature scent, basically, you start to associate those scents with a lot of memories. And if you wore a fragrance for a specific point in time in your life, and then you smell it again down the line, it can kind of call back all of those emotions from that moment in time. And so I've always loved that about fragrances. That's like one of the big reasons why I got into this, was just the power of a smell to kind of, evoke a memory. And so these are all very memorable for me. They've all been my signature scents at different times in my life. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys. So the first scent here, Creed Silver Mountain Water. So I do enjoy Creed fragrances. And before you guys get your pitchforks here, I'll just say that I've bought some older formulations of these smells online. Creed gets a lot of a bad reputation from being very expensive, and then also having pretty bad longevity on a lot of these scents. And so if you go online and you try to find the older versions of these, they can be very expensive, specifically like Aventus from, around like 2015, when everybody was kind of like all about that smell. That stuff is in very high demand, but I think out of the entire Creed lineup, Silver Mountain Water stands on its own for me. When I first smelled this fragrance, it absolutely blew me away. And so this has bergamot and orange in the opening, I believe. It has black tea. It has black currant as well. And then if I were to try and describe this fragrance, because I don't even get a ton of the citrus in the opening, it smells almost like metallic and cold and very inky, and it kind of has like a minerality to it. And it just reminds you of like snow in the mountains, and it's very bracing, and it's just like a very unique smell. I've never really had anything like it. I know that Xerajoff makes a smell called Mephisto that's supposedly similar to this, and I've actually smelled Mephisto. And the problem with Mephisto is it's very floral, and I think that is the thing that I actually like about Silver Mountain Water, is it has no florals at all. Again, it's just like very cold. It smells like cold mountain air, and there's something very unique about that. And so I will give this a spray. And I love smelling this. So good. I mean, it's almost like it's surprisingly wearable. I think it's very sexy. It's very unique. Again, like nobody else really makes anything like this. And for me personally, when I smell this, I almost kind of smell myself. Like, this was my signature scent for a very long time. I've gone through multiple bottles. As you can see, I have the kind of smaller bottle right now, and I would love to get one of the older ones where it was much higher quality, supposedly. But this this smell for me, like I had a friend group like a few years back, and one of our friends actually recently passed away, and I think that I've been smelling this fragrance recently, and I just remember when I would hang out with this specific friend. It was a very kind of carefree point in my life. We just wanted to kind of have fun, go out on the town. We would go out to these dinners with our big friend group, and we'd go back to his house. We'd have like parties and stuff, and I wore this scent almost every single day during that time period, and so it just brings back very strong memories and emotions for me. So I think beyond the fact that this is an amazing smell, I think it's one of those things where it has a personal connection to me. And so I would encourage you guys out there who have like really large collections of fragrances. Um, it's obviously fun to wear something different and kind of mix it up every single day. But what you can do is if you choose a specific scent to wear for a certain period of time, then you can really get that effect of being able to smell that and always associating it with a certain time in your life. And I think that there's something very cool about that. Just so good. Absolutely amazing scent. And I think the longevity on these newer bottles is not great. Some people say that they can't smell it almost immediately after spraying on. I think that's a bit dramatic. I think if you could get one of the older bottles, then you'd be all set to go. But given that this is such a unique scent, and I think it's worth it to respray just for how good this actually is. And so give it a chance, maybe sample it, see what you think, and let me know. My old signature scent, Creed Silver Mountain Water. Very good. All right, so this next one I also have a lot of strong memories with. I was dating a girl for a certain period of time that I was really into, and yeah, this was my scent that I would wear whenever I was with her, and that is Initio Side Effect, another S tier ranked fragrance. Just to me, really smells like kind of confidence in a bottle. Very intoxicating, very alluring. Has quite a bit of projection. I actually have the older bottle, as you can see here. I think the newer ones have like the 82% formulation, and this is the older one, so it just projects and lasts like crazy. So if you guys can get your hands on that, I would recommend it. Um, yeah, this fragrance to me smells like charisma, basically. And whenever I've worn this and I've gone out, it does attract a lot of attention. I am a notorious oversprayer, so that could be part of it. Just like showering in this stuff, but uh, it's just too good, right? Got to just spray it. Mm. So it has a lot of rum. It has tobacco. It has cinnamon. Mm. And it's very sweet, and it does command attention, I think. But again, I like kind of bold fragrances that are not obnoxious, not suffocating. It's very sweet, but there's something about it that is just like very well rounded. And it's just kind of like smells smooth and sexy and effortless. It smells like a guy who kind of like walks into a bar and he knows everybody there and he has like nothing to prove. He's just like being himself and having fun. And I'm just going to look up these notes really quick. I swear I'm missing some of these here. Saffron, sandalwood, and hedione. But I think the dominating notes in this are for sure the cinnamon, tobacco, and rum. Mm. And I just think this is what kind of fragrances are all about right here. I've smelled quite a bit of frags from Initio. I think Initio is a really good house. They make interesting offerings. And I know that they just dropped a newer scent in 2024, I believe, called Narcotics Delight. And that's like basically Side Effect with kind of a cherry DNA in it. And I have yet to smell that. It sounds very interesting, but I think one of the things that's so good about Side Effect is, in a way, its simplicity. And this is a scent that I would normally wear that would probably have something like patchouli in the base just to kind of like give it some edge to it. But they managed to balance this scent to where it doesn't need it at all. And the sweetness isn't overpowering. It is just very alluring and sexy. And again, this calls back crazy memories for me from a specific time in my life. And so that will always be highest ranked in my collection. And so this last one, oh man, this is like for me basically summer in a bottle. This is like what hanging out by the pool smells like. This is like being with your friends on a hot day. This reminds me of working out, being kind of active, being outside. I just associate so many like activities and memories with this scent. And that is, of course, LV Afternoon Swim. So I think I've said in other videos that I really like Le Mans and I really like Imagination. I like Pacific Chill. And those are all very, very wearable scents that I consider to be very high in my collection, perhaps even over Afternoon Swim. But I think for me, Afternoon Swim was my first Louis Vuitton scent. Again, I got it like engraved and all that, and it was like a really big purchase for me at the time. It was a big investment, and it was back when my collection was quite a bit smaller. And so I was able to really appreciate this fragrance, I think, more than I'm able to now because I have so many and I find myself swapping every day, trying out new stuff. Sometimes I wear one fragrance in the morning, one in the afternoon, and then one at night. So like 3 different fragrances in one day. But back when I was rocking with Afternoon Swim, that was like all I wore all day. I just like sprayed this stuff all day. And I will just give this a quick spray. This is such a simple fragrance, but I think that's the beauty of it. It doesn't need to be too complex. So good. It just smells like oranges and musk, basically. I know that it has ginger in there, and I think bergamot as well, and ambergris. So I do get a little bit of the ginger, but it is such just like visceral citrus. I mean, like, it's just beautiful. I mean, it's like if you were to like go to some tree that's growing these like enormous, beautiful, perfectly ripe oranges, and then you were to just like split that orange open and you get a lot of the smell of the peel. You get that kind of sharpness from the citrus. You get a lot of that sweetness in the background. It's like how you bite into an orange and it's kind of bitter in the beginning, and then it gets sweet after. And this just smells preppy. This smells so effortless. It doesn't smell like you're trying too hard. You could overspray this fragrance and it just smells like somebody who like doesn't take life too seriously. It smells very chill. And I think it smells interesting despite the fact that it's so simple. It just has this weird like confidence to it. Again, it's very linear when you wear it, although I will say that the longer you wear this, the more musky it gets when it kind of mixes with your sweat and all that, and it becomes very, very good. This is a very sexy fragrance. I'll take like one spray of this, put it on the back of my neck, and go to the gym. And people just seem to really love this. And so out of my entire like Louis Vuitton collection of fragrances and out of everything I've smelled, I might consider fragrances like Le Monsite, Imagination, and Pacific Chill. You know, they're more multifaceted. I think that they're more interesting, and they, I guess, have more like specific occasions that I would wear them on. And those are all amazing fragrances in themselves. I mean, it's one of my favorite houses for a reason. But there's something about Afternoon Swim that just has like a special place in my heart. It always will. And it does remind me of kind of when it was my signature scent. And so if you guys just want to capture the essence of summer, of fun, of kind of like lightheartedness and youth and just carefree confidence, then Afternoon Swim is definitely the fragrance for that. So, in my opinion, these are all S tier in my collection. These are the best of the best. And I don't know if that's because I just really like them or because of all the memories that they have when they were my signature scents. But I would suggest you guys try these out and let me know what you think.